The papacy is one of the most enduring institutions in human history, with each new pope shaping the trajectory of the Catholic Church and, by extension, much of global moral and political discourse. With speculation always rising at the end of a papal reign or in the event of the pope's death or abdication, certain names emerge as likely successors. Among these, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the current Vatican Secretary of State, stands out not just for his influence and experience, but also for a more arcane reason. His name and origin align closely with the final entry of the Prophecy of the Popes, which refers to a pope called Petrus Romanus, or Peter the Roman. This coincidence invites serious consideration, both theological and political, for those intrigued by the intersection of prophecy and church leadership. The Prophecy of the Popes, attributed to St. Malachy, a 12th century Irish bishop, is a list of 112 short cryptic phrases describing each pope from Celestine II, elected in 1143, to the final pope, who is ominously dubbed Petrus Romanus. The prophecy concludes with a dramatic passage. In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will reign Peter the Roman, who will feed his flock amid many tribulations, after which the seven-hilled city will be destroyed and the dreadful judge will judge the people. The end. Although historians debate the authenticity and accuracy of the prophecy, many scholars argue that its predictive power ends after the 16th century. The fascination persists, especially given how recent papal names seem to coincide eerily with the phrases, for example, Gloria Olivae for Benedict XVI. Cardinal Pietro Parolin, born in 1955 in Chavon, Italy, is an experienced Vatican diplomat and close aide to Pope Francis. He is not only Italian, a rarity in the recent papacies of non-Italians, but his first name, Pietro, is the Italian form of Peter. His Roman connection is not merely symbolic. As the Vatican's Secretary of State and a long-time resident and servant of the Roman Curia, Parolin is as Roman in function and identity as any cardinal can be. Thus, in both name Pietro and role Romanus, he aligns precisely with the prophecy's terminology. It is difficult to dismiss this coincidence entirely, especially considering that names carry enormous weight in the papal tradition. When Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio became Pope Francis, his name choice signified humility and reform. If Pietro Parolin were elected Pope, regardless of the name he adopts, his given name would still mark a rare fulfillment of the Peter the Roman prophecy, possibly symbolizing a return to the Church's roots or a time of crisis as prophesied. The political and ecclesiastical case. Aside from prophetic alignment, Pietro Parolin stands as one of the most competent and strategically positioned figures in the Vatican. As Secretary of State, he has extensive international experience, particularly in diplomacy with China and the Middle East. He is proven adept at managing church-state relations and has the trust of Pope Francis, under whom he has risen to immense influence. In times of internal crisis, such as sexual abuse scandals, global secularization, and declining church attendance, the College of Cardinals may look for a stabilizing figure, a man who combines doctrinal orthodoxy with diplomatic tact. Parolin fits this profile. His moderate tone, administrative experience, and strong ties to both progressive and conservative factions position him as a consensus candidate. Fulfillment of prophetic criteria and end-time symbolism. Should Parolin be elected and seen through the lens of Petrus Romanus, it would add symbolic resonance to a church navigating tribulation. The prophecy describes Peter the Roman as a shepherd during a time of great tribulation. With global instability, ecological crisis, and increasing hostility toward religious institutions, a pontificate under Parolin could very well unfold in such a context. His leadership would not only carry institutional significance but prophetic weight, fueling interpretations of apocalyptic or transformative times for the Catholic Church. Conclusion. While the Church does not endorse the prophecy of the popes as doctrine, its cultural and theological shadow remains potent, especially in times of transition. Pietro Parolin's papabile status is grounded not just in ecclesiastical politics, but also in an almost mythic alignment with the prophecy of Petrus Romanus. Whether by divine providence, historical coincidence, or human perception searching for meaning, his election would be perceived by many as a fulfillment of a centuries-old foretelling, possibly heralding the final chapter of the papal lineage as predicted by St. Malachy.